What up, you guys? It's author coach, poet, writer, whatever, Keaidy Bennett. And I'm getting ready to share another original poem with you guys. Those of you who've ever seen me perform live know that I do not like reading from a book or my phone or a piece of paper. I don't judge anyone that does. It's just not something I like to do. This time though, I'm going to do something a little different, and I'm going to read to you guys from my book titled The Chronicles of a Love Addict, A Love Junkie's Journey from Suicidal to Saved. And just a really quick backstory as to why I feel it's important. For a long time, I spent almost a year of my life really as an atheist, not really believing in anything, because although I had grew up as a Christian, there was so many questions I had that just didn't have answers. So I was that girl in the back of the poetry spots that would make fun of anyone who mentioned Jesus or any kind of religion, because I just thought you were brainwashed or whatever. And it's important that I read this, because more important than just the poem is understanding the fear I felt and the embarrassment I kind of felt having to go back in front of this crowd of people that knew I didn't believe and knew that I also made fun of people who believed, and actually acknowledge the name Jesus. That was hard. So I wanted to read that to you guys, and that's why it was important I read it out of my book. So when I'm done, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and then head over to my blog if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook, whatever, and share it with someone else. Subscribe to my blog and just help me keep going. Thank you. I can't do this, I said nervously as I reread over my poem one last time. How am I going to go on this stage and preach to people I used to make fun of for believing in God? These people are going to think I'm a hypocrite. He smiled as he gave me a hug to ease my fears. You didn't understand the power of a relationship with Christ before. Now you do. Anyway, who are you here to please? This crowd or God? He was right. And at that moment, I didn't care who was going to agree with what I had to say. All I knew was that since I began my relationship with Jesus, I had finally found a purpose for a lot of the pain that I had been through. I took a deep breath, and then I walked proudly to the stage once the host was through with such a touching introduction for me. I didn't immediately start my performance like I usually would. For some reason, I decided to talk for a while. I guess I was just trying to stall the crowd before I started. I looked in his direction, and the look he gave me let me know that he knew exactly what I was doing. When you have God in your life, you walk a little different, talk a little different, and have a certain confidence about yourself that can't be explained. Some people will know how to take it, and some won't. I took another deep breath, and then I began. I'm feeling so empty as you fill the inside of my sacred temple. I thought having you drown me with your seeds would somehow plug the hole from the pain of losing my unborn child's soul. Not being able to bring my baby to term had me feeling a little lack, and I don't know why or how I thought I would have found relief lying here for you on my back, but here I am. Truthfully, I've felt incomplete for a while, but I found comfort in the fake sincerity behind your smile and your style. Well, your mind was dressed much better than the rest. Had me on some Drake stuff thinking that baby you the best, so I went against my better judgment just to stand the challenge of your test, and now here I am. Well, what could I have possibly expected when I've been too busy neglecting what's wrong with me because I've been too busy entertaining what's good with you? Allowing you to strip away layers from my physical while I'm falling in love with this man who's only mystical. It's pitiful. How I'll remember your sexual teachings but forget about the one that's biblical. I guess it's typical. When I've only been worried about the man that's visible and not the one who's spiritual, so maybe that's why I am where I am. I should have known better when 1 Corinthians teaches us that the unmarried woman is concerned about the things of the Lord, so that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But the married woman is concerned about the things of the world, like how she may please her husband. Trying to live up to this vow that this is all yours, practically living on all fours just to please you like you were my God. Then turn right around, get on my knees and pray for forgiveness, saying I'd never do it like some kind of fraud, not acting like a child of God, but a love-struck broad, giving yours more power than his rod. So, yeah, maybe that's why I am where I am. Here, allowing you to use my body as your own personal playground, just jumping through my thoughts, wants, and ideas like they're only a game of hopscotch, strumming my feelings and emotions as if I was some kind of instrument and pushing my buttons as if my name was Nintendo. But I can't complain though, because you're only doing what I've allowed you to do. So now I'm sitting here between good and evil like it's hard to choose when his grace is sufficient, his mercy everlasting, covering me when I was too dumb to do the will of my Father, who put me here as a seed to watch me bloom. But here I am with you. I'm killing myself slowly as you cut my soul deeply, which each thrust they say that sex is art. And I've been searching desperately for my missing creativity like it could only be found in your loins. Searching for my worth and missing self-esteem like they could only be found in your groins. So here I am, a seed, not planted, but buried under you. How artistic one becomes after heartbreak is evidence that we all need a little pain in order to grow, and I've been acting like it's crucial for my survival. Since you know what they say, what's bad for your heart is good for your art, and all of my experiences with you keep me full of material. I'm now a serial killer to my own spirit, being this glutton for pain that I've become. Well, you want to know what happened when I started being more worried about what's wrong with me instead of being too busy worried about what's good with you? Throughout my performance, the crowd wasn't as loud and energetic as they usually were, but I was feeling something I had never felt when I performed. It was funny as I watched some of the men in the audience who weren't really feeling that last line I had to say give me a little smirk at my last stanza. Hold up, pause. I wish you guys would have seen some of these fellas' faces when I said that. Yeah, I took it there. I sure did. Because it's not that great when you realize your worth and what you have. So I'm going to pause myself real quick and step away from this poem for those of you who looked at me a little crazy. When we talk about Jesus, we let it be known that God came here to give us life and that more abundantly, right? So that means that this man who might have the slow motion, long stroking, and knows all of those tricks and flips is all fine and dandy. But can you imagine the brother that was created to love and make love to every part of your body, soul, and mind can do? So since he came here that we may have it more abundantly, that means that the man that was really created for you, he's going to know all of those tricks and all that stuff too. But he's also going to exceed every single expectation that you didn't even know you had in a man. Now, I'm going to rewind myself. You want to know what happened when I started being more worried about what's wrong with me instead of being too busy entertaining what's good with you? I now have a desire to thrive. I feel revived by the one who survived and created me with a plan and a purpose. And though I may not see it or him, I now recognize the importance of walking by faith and not by sight, because it's easy to be derailed by that bright light that glitters even from fool's gold. So while I might seem a little lost, buried, or cold from being asked to hold on to so many of your empty promises, I'm still gonna blossom. Don't believe me? Just watch me grow.